Going. Okay, hi Nadia, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. I got your email about your daughter, and I think you were trying to address some issues that she's having in class. Is that correct?
Yes.
Would you like to go into some detail about that?
Sure. She's a really social 7-year-old girl, and her teacher let me know that she was having some problems staying in her workspace and wanting to get up and kind of see what other people were doing and socializing with her friends, and then also raising her hand to give answers and following directions the first time the teacher gives them without having to get 1 or 2 reminders. So we were just trying to come up with maybe some type of little plan for her to, help her work on this issue.
That sounds great, and I think that's something maybe we can work on together. So you said she's 7 years old, so she's in what grade?
Second grade.
Second grade. And do you mind if I take some notes?
Sure.
Okay. And is this across all classrooms? Is it something that happens more often in the morning than the afternoon? Or
she's in the same classroom all day because it's like elementary school.
So they don't switch at all?
She doesn't switch. I mean, they switch for specials and stuff, but for the majority, they're in the same room, or they share a door with the classroom next door, and they kind of like move sometimes. But I don't think that. I mean, I'm guessing it's
so not like
probably whole group instruction, because when she's doing like small groups, like reading groups or stations or independent work time, like she doesn't have the issue. I think it's more like whole group instruction when the teacher is leading the activity for the talking out and for the following directions. I think staying in her workspace is probably across the board. More like during small group, because then they're like moving around, or like if she's supposed to be at her table working on something, she might get up and go like see what one of her friends is doing, or go and like chat with someone.
And is there just one teacher in the classroom, or is there a teacher's aide?
There's a teacher, and there is a teacher's aide, but it's for a specific different student that's in there.
Okay.
But I think she helps out with all of the kids.
Okay, so you don't think that it's as a result of not knowing material? You think it's just...
No, she's never had any like academic issues with
curriculum being too difficult or anything?
No, and she goes to like they have this thing called win time, where it's like what I need. So it's either they get like interventions or enrichment, and she goes to the enrichment group. So
okay,
I think it's...
So she's doing well in all of her classes?
Yeah, she's doing well. Academically has never been an issue, like during conferences.
So it's not impacting her
no
learning and
no,
her grades?
No, they don't really get grades. So I guess it's not really impacting her learning. It's just like distracting, probably.
And you're worried that if you don't address it now, that it's going to become more of an issue?
Yeah, I don't want it to become a deterrent, or I don't want her to like get in trouble for being too social.
Okay, and does she transition well between topics?
She's really good with... I think she's kind of like a leader when it comes to routines and helping move through like the daily schedule and have jobs. Like her teacher always says she's going to be a teacher.
So she's just very social.
Yeah, and she just, wants to do what she wants to do, so.
Okay. Is this something that you have an issue with at home at all? Is she just...
Yeah, I feel like we've always had an issue with her wanting to just kind of like constantly going and wanting to do her own thing. But she's gotten better. Usually if I like remind her one extra time, she does what she's supposed to do.
And in cases at home, is there anything that works at home that you think maybe could work at school? Or is it something
she's good with incentives, for sure.
Incentives, okay.
She likes stuff. And, like, she likes time to do things that she wants to do.
So
staying
like
up late, even. She's really good with incentives.
Okay. Well, based on that, then I'd like to maybe try and think of something that we can do to increase her attentiveness in class and, reduce that like out of seat or, chatting with her friends and everything else. Is there anything that you think might work for her, or is any...
I think like an incentive plan would work really well with her. I think if she is very clear on what the expectation is and knows what she's working towards, that would help her.
Okay. So do you think that maybe something where she's monitoring herself would be good for her so she can see how she's doing? Do you think that would work best, or do you think it would be something that if somebody else is monitoring her would be better?
I think it'd be good to have her be a part of it and maybe like a little combination. Like I think self-monitoring would be good, and then also a time to check and say, is my self-monitoring accurate?
Okay. Well, since I guess you say it's pretty much all day and it's not really impacting her. It's just something that, as she's going on into other grades, that it's
more like forming good habits for school.
Okay. Do you think something where like some sort of chart that the teacher keeps track of it would work, or do you think that maybe, I don't know, let's see, some sort of thing on her desk where we have like a little, reward system where she gets little stickers maybe if she doesn't leave her seat? You said that what's the main issue with her? Is it leaving her seat, or is it?
I think it's staying in her workspace and following directions
the first time,
which just kind of goes in with it. All kind of is encompassing with following with what you're supposed to be doing. So if you're staying in your work spot and you're raising your hand,
right,
you're following directions. So if you wanted like one behavior,
probably staying in your workspace.
Staying in your workspace and following directions, maybe. But yeah, I think a chart would be good, and then where she could maybe earn some incentives, and then have it be kind of a collaborative, between the teacher and her, so she knows that she's being kept accountable, but she's part of, the teacher. Right. Kids aren't always self-assessing correctly.
Exactly. So having somebody else there.
Right.
Oh, I agree. I think that sounds like a good idea. So maybe I can talk with her teacher, and maybe we can work to set up a plan where the teacher, monitors her. How many classes does she have throughout the day? I guess not classes, subjects.
Maybe just like halfway through the day and at the end of the day, or just the end of the day. Like a midday check-in and end of the day check-in.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
I think immediate feedback is probably good, because then she knows, right,
to improve the rest
spot.
Of the day.
Like you're not doing good with this morning, so let's turn it around for the afternoon.
Okay, sure. Okay, I definitely think that's a good idea to check her halfway through, and sometimes. At least you can reward her for the morning, too, if she's doing well in the morning. Sometimes the afternoon's a little more difficult.
Yeah, like have a morning goal and an afternoon goal. And then like a long-term goal maybe also.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. So I will talk with her teacher and try to set up a plan with her monitoring her behavior. And then we'll try to do staying in workspace as mentioned, and then following directions the first time. So maybe after, halfway through the day before she goes to lunch or something, she can then rate herself, and then maybe she can bring her rating to her teacher, or maybe keep it at her desk or something, and her teacher can come to her and check in with her.
1-minute check-in.
Yeah, and then maybe show her teacher what she thinks, how she behaved, and whether she was in class maybe, or how she thinks she did in class. And then we can have...
And maybe I can get the chart home at the end of each week, so then I can,
do some sort of incentive at home.
Yeah,
or
see
maybe
how she's doing.
Do a little, like time together. Like you said, she likes time together. So maybe reward her with like a little activity or do something. I think that would sound like a good idea. So then I will talk with her teacher. And then do you want to discuss this with Madison? Or do you think that, do you want the teacher to talk with her? Do you want to all kind of get together and talk about, what we discussed?
I think her and her teacher could talk about the plan, and then once I know they've talked, I could just reiterate it at home, since they're the ones that are going to be
working
doing
together,
and it's going to be at school, and then I can reinforce it after they've talked about it.
That sounds like a good idea.
And then maybe they can come up with the reward together, so then she has some buy-in for it. Yeah, like what does she get to earn?
Maybe school? Like does she enjoy like spending lunch with friends or something like that?
Yeah, or extra time.
Exactly.
5 minutes of extra free time or something that she can earn.
Are those things that she would want to have?
She likes to craft.
So those would be some good incentives then, maybe some extra free time. And I can suggest those to the teacher too.
Or they get, these little brag tags for doing good things. So maybe she could earn an extra brag tag. Because then they have raffles sometimes during the day.
Do you think, though, that this chart is something that she's going to worry about her peers, with?
I don't know. Hopefully not. I mean, she's young enough that I don't think that
It should be an issue.
the peers are I'd rather like sort it out now, because as they get older, I feel like then it is more of like you worry that your peers are like, why are you doing that?
Why are you doing that?
know?
Exactly. Okay. Well, that sounds like a good idea. I think the incentive chart and everything sounds like a really good plan for her to at least, to start to try to address the issue. I will work with her teacher then, and I will get in contact with her this week. I can either send her an email or, meet with her in person. And I will discuss the chart with her and then the two issues that we wanted to address most, which is staying in her workspace and then following directions the first time.
Okay.
And then we can do some
Great.
sort of incentive. And after I discuss with her, I'll tell her to meet with Madison. And then they can, talk about...
let me know.
Exactly. And then you guys can work at home too. So then... maybe we can plan to meet, at the end of the week or something after I've talked with the teacher and after she has time to discuss with Madison to just check back in before
See what
the
the
behavior
plan's gonna
chart
look like.
starts. Exactly.
Okay.
Does that sound good with you?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think her building some awareness will help her with reducing the behavior.
Okay. Then I will either shoot you an email or I will give you a call at the end of the week and we can get in contact again.
Great.
Sounds good. Thank you for meeting with me.
Yeah, thanks for helping out.